Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Dr. J. Today, I want to talk about nutrition, specifically eating, and answer some of the kind of the 6 questions that we were taught when we were in elementary school. That a reporter needs to kind of gather or ask these questions to figure out kind of the background story for what happened. So that's basically the who, the what, the where, the why, the when, and then the how of eating. So real quick, nutrition is one of the 4 pillars of functional medicine, which includes nutrition, sleeping, stress reduction, and exercise or movement. Right, so it's super important. It's 25% of what we do, but it's actually, I would argue, even more than that, probably closer to 50%, because it's something that we really can control what goes in our mouth, right? So let's talk about that. So who eats? Well, we all need to eat, and everybody's a little bit individual, right? Everybody is individual, so everybody needs a little bit different nutrition. They have different styles, and so I tailor my programs to work with the individual person. But the rest of the stuff kind of broadly applies to all of us, right? So the what are we going to eat? Well, the literature is pretty clear on this, that it's plants, right? So all of my clients know this. They've all heard me say this. Plants are the way. It's the source of all nutrition. It's where all the animals get their nutrition. So we should go right to the source. What we want to eat is we want to eat foods that are high in nutrient value but low in caloric value. We also want to eat foods that are high in fiber. I just read the study the other day. They said 97% of Americans are deficient in fiber. Right? Even FDA guidelines are just a fraction of what we used to eat hundreds of thousands of years ago. So fiber is hugely important. It feeds our gut bacteria, and they in turn feed us. It's this beautiful symbiotic relationship that we have, and we've kind of lost track of that. So plants are the answer. We want a variety of plants. We want to eat the rainbow. Intensity of color equals intensity of health benefits. Okay, so that's just kind of, rather than white rice or white potato, we want to go to brown rice or quinoas or in multicolored quinoas, and we want to go to that purple Japanese sweet potato. It's absolutely fabulous. Okay, so yeah, the more intensity of the color, the better it is for us. Where do we want to eat? Well, do we want to eat in our car or our cubicle, or do we want to sit outside a picnic bench, picnic table overlooking the ocean? Do we want to be in nature? We want to be going for a gentle walk. We really just want to think about where we are in our kind of life when we're eating, and where we are physically actually for that meal, and just pay attention to that. Why are we eating? Are we eating because we're stressed or we're angry? Are we truly hungry? Most of the time when we think we're hungry, we're not actually hungry, we're thirsty. So I offer my clients to tell them, have a big old glass of water before you think that you'll get your need to eat. Because most of the time we're just thirsty, and when you place water for food, that's a great way to reduce calories for the day, right? So that's what we want to make sure, because our bodies just don't do a great job of discriminating between thirst and hunger. So we want to know why. Also, if we're stressed out, we're burnt out, we're exhausted, we're not going to make the same quality choices, and we know that by studies. So when you're just reaching for that bag of potato chips because that's what you think your body, because of what you're craving, your adrenal glands are craving that sugar, fat, and salt. So a healthier substitution would be an apple or a piece of fruit and some sea salt and some nuts. Right, there you go. There's your fat, salt, and sugar right there, but it's a healthy whole food version of it, and that's important. Okay, when we eat, this is a huge debate, but it's actually pretty much nailed out these days, that if you wanted to avoid diseases like Alzheimer's disease and diabetes, intermittent fasting is super important. So what are we talking about? We're talking about compressing the time that you eat your calories from a normal 14 hours a day, which people can wake up and eat and go to sleep with something in their hand, right, to a more mindful 8 hours or 10 hours during the middle of the day. So you wake up, you have a big glass of water, you have your supplements, you drink a cup of coffee, right? But you don't have to break your fast with breakfast, right? We can wait and push that off until early lunchtime, right? 11 o'clock or so. So typically I don't eat until 11 to 1 or 2 o'clock, depending on my schedule. And it takes a while to get used to that. But when you're also eating more kind of paleo or a kind of keto style diet where you're not loading up with a bunch of sugary foods and cereals, you can make it through the morning without eating, because you've got plenty of calories on board that you have stored up that you can kind of eat through. Okay, so that's really important. And we don't want to eat too close to bedtime either. And in fact, when we eat is important too. If we're trying to lose weight, to maintain our weight, we want to eat most of the calories when the sun is overhead, because studies show that we're more likely to burn those calories as heat or generate heat to get rid of it than we are during the early morning or late evening hours. So that's something we can also talk about. And then, how do we eat? We need to eat slowly. Remember your mom telling you to, like what she used to tell me, at least, smaller bites, and eat like a human, right? Rather than just an animal just shoving food in my face. Well, so how we eat is super important, right? We just need to slow down, take a few deep breaths to slow down and get from sympathetic tone to parasympathetic tone. Sympathetic is that fight or flight response, right? We're all stressed out. With every calorie that we eat under those stressful conditions, we basically tend to store because we're under duress and our body thinks we should hold on to those calories. When if you take a few deep breaths and you go to parasympathetic tone, all of a sudden your body's ready to rest and digest, and it's processing that food more efficiently, and we can get it through our body and we don't have to hold on to it. So slow down, put your fork down between bites, something I still struggle with, but I'm working on it every day to make myself better. Anyway, that's it for today. Have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you all soon.